Hello and welcome back to This or That with Kobe and Jatt, a historic semifinals. And in the history of This or That, we have never had exactly 8 slides.
Really?
Which is what we have today.
All right, perfect. Let's get to it then.
Yeah, there's, EU teams in finals, NA team in finals maybe. Slide number 1. What's it gonna be? What's better? 3 Western teams in semifinals or receiving an instant feedback report when you report an unsportsmanlike player and are immediately told that he was penalized?
So before this year, before right now, I had never experienced this, and this was the pinnacle. However, I'll definitely say 3 Western teams in semifinals, and specifically for North America. I've been playing this game for 9 years. We've been playing it since beta.
Yeah, since it came out, man.
And every year, we get ridiculed. And we can't say anything at Worlds, but now,
Cloud9.
they made it.
I'll put up with a few toxic players not getting immediately punished if it means I get to watch this.
Yeah, this is good, but that is great. All right, next slide.
Next slide. Totally agree. Korea in 2019 play-ins. Would it be a punishment or a buff?
Honestly, this is only an interesting discussion because of, teams like Cloud9 have always gotten out. EDG, G2 both looked very good and went very far in this tournament. Both G2 and Cloud9 are in the semifinals, having gone through play-ins, and the argument is of course that you got better, more practice.
You got to practice a little bit, but that also understates the risk of being eliminated before the group stage. Like, that hasn't happened yet. You could talk to the LMS. That happened to G-Rex last year. I'm sure they didn't like being in play-ins. They would rather have been automatically put in the group stage. I think even though you can derive benefits from it, I think it is still would be a punishment for LCK.
You know how else you can get better? Practice and scrimming. We're teams at Worlds.
Yeah.
Without a risk of getting kicked out.
I'm going with this. We're going to slide number 3. Of 8, more surprising, Cloud9 3-0ing Afrika or G2 3-2ing RNG?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
So,
because
G2, if it was just G2 beating RNG, then it would for sure be this one, right? That's why the game scores, I think, are important.
Yes, that's the question. It doesn't matter how close the games were in games 2 or 3. It just matters that they won every single game. But I do think Afrika, when we saw the draw, we said this is the best draw Cloud9 could have had. This is the weakest pool, seed 1. So this is actually less surprising to me than G2 taking down the MSI champion, Rift Rival champion, Asia Game champion, world's favorite RNG as the 3rd seed of Europe. I think that is more surprising.
Yeah, RNG literally won everything else this year except the World Championship. And G2 coming the 3rd seed out of Europe, upset them. All right, next slide.
G2 too good. Slide number 4. Will Fnatic versus C9 unite or... It will never unite us. Like, it unites us for about a day when we say, yeah, the West, they're in it. As soon as this game starts, it is a mountain of salt.
However, if this game is an extremely closely played best of 5, either team could have won it type of thing, then I see it carrying over, and I see, the respect being given. Yeah, we know, we got that Baron steal, or we got that thing. For the reasonable people, there are also unreasonable people that will always...
I think you also have to think the size of the audience. Like, the people that are having the discussion on, like, a Tuesday after the game are not the people that are going to be burying everyone in mountains of salt. Like, those are the people that are saying, yeah, good job, everyone. It's that.
Yeah. Also, people are going to do that comically, so we'll see.
I can't wait. I think. Next slide for This or That. Bigger KR nerf, removal of Tracker's Knife / Sightstone, or the condensed schedule?
These are 2 interesting arguments.
I think the condensed schedule argument is actually fairly overblown as far as not having enough time to adapt, because every team had exactly the same amount of time to adapt, and it's not like one team just guessed exactly what the right meta is going to be. That's all a skill check as far as practice is concerned.
Also, it's not like the other regions were known for having instant improvement, and like, NA has always been so good at turning around, 2-day improvements. Like, that's not
And
true.
from the first part of group stage, like, for instance, the team that played on the final day of group stage still had like 3 or 4 days off to adjust, and now you have even more time before semifinals. Anyway,
I would go with the vision.
I'd say this is slightly more in the fact that it means you have to play a lot more off of intuition and individual outplays, and you can't always know everything. So,
yeah, I think slightly more. I don't think any of them are, all-encompassing, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons. We talked about it a little bit on the dive towards the end of the episode. Let's get to the next slide. Of This or That, more iconic moment. Licorice Orange slapping the Baron with 16 health, or the IG versus KT base race.
Okay, this is the closest professional League of Legends game I have ever seen. That was insanely hype, and there were really good decisions in this high pressure situation where Smeb teleports out, goes over to finish it. You know, all these little things you can go back and look at. This was incredibly funny because it was just a little dink.
Little orange slap, Kramer auto-attacking Licorice. Okay, what I will say...
But this is iconic, more iconic to me.
I actually disagree. I think if KT would have won the series, then it's the more iconic moment. But because IG still won, whatever.
So,
this could have been a turning point in the series that wasn't, so therefore...
I think this encompasses how, the theme of Worlds this year and how quick and crazy Worlds has been and the possibility of upsets. That's why I like the story.
I think it's pretty crazy when an Ornn hits a Baron from 16 health and gets it for his whole team.
I do enjoy that
in a 2v5.
Little dink. Next slide.
All right. I think it's number 7. I've never counted to 8 on this or that. More likely final, G2 versus Fnatic or IG versus Cloud9.
I like your little addition there of on this or that. But as far as this slide, okay, so this is presuming that Fnatic are more favored to win theirs and IG are more favored to win theirs. That's how they usually split up these slides.
Yep.
And so then you have to choose which one is more likely. For me, the Fnatic Cloud9 one is super close. I think Fnatic maybe slightly above. G2, as insane as their victory over RNG was, and the big upsets, I think IG matches up with them very well.
Yeah, I mean, we predicted all these series on the dive, so I'm gonna go off my own predictions to answer this question. I predicted Fnatic in a 3-2, but I actually said IG in a 3-0 with the biggest chance of that one backfiring. So based off that, I have to say IG versus Cloud9 is more likely.
Yeah, I think this is more likely, but the most likely...
Euphoria if this happens, by the way.
The most likely is
This is where the mountain
IG
of salt buries North America. They would be so sad if that happened after they come so far just to have 2 European teams in the final.
Next
Final
slide.
Yeah, got it. What aged worse? Jatt's top 20 list. What about Deficio and Papa Smithy's top 20 list? Why are not mentioning those? Or Old Summoner's Rift. Rookie's still in there. Number 2.
Yeah.
Just because you got eliminated doesn't mean you weren't a good player, by the way.
I feel like I'm really out of this slide.
What do you think, Kobe?
This is a very personal this or that for Jatt. because this one, I mean, so Old Summoner's Rift, we don't really ever see it anymore, so it's hard to say how poorly it's aged because it hasn't really aged.
2011 VOD.
It's been eliminated. It's extinct. So I think it's aged pretty well as far as I never see it because, I do see it because if you look up VODs of really old games. So I have seen it before.
And if you try and watch these players, there's still VODs of them losing.
I'm still a bit shocked when I see Old Summoner's Rift. However, I'm also nostalgic and I kind of enjoy it. So I would say it aged better. So by default, Jatt, I'm sorry. Your top 20?
I think it's a touchy subject, all things considered, when you're talking about like the top 20 players of Worlds. I will say, I will never stop trying to do this. Although this year it looks a little rough. Looks a little rough.
Just like teams at World.
Yeah.
Even if you fail, you got to keep fighting.
I mean, who wouldn't put 5 KT players on their top 20 players list just to see them lose in quarterfinals? It was all a ruse to get you excited about KT. Mission accomplished, everyone.
It is a tough job.
Anyway, that'll do it for this or that, and the reputation of my top 20 list for this year. And we're gonna see you for semifinals with the chance of EU versus EU, NA versus EU, NA versus China, EU versus China. So many finals possibilities.
Everyone I know will be there.
Yeah.
You should too.
No Korea. They're gone.